Welcome to the Wed Pro Podcast, the show for wedding professionals and business owners.
Each month, we bring you top industry experts, business chat, and hints and tips to grow your business.
I'm Katie.
And I'm Roxy.
Welcome to the Wed Pro Podcast.
Hi guys, welcome to the Wed Pro Podcast. Today's episode is a Supplier Spotlight episode. So in these episodes, we are going to be shining the light on the wedding businesses that we love. Today, we are joined by the fabulous Bimla Jackson from Bimlabee Productions. And we're going to just talk about her business and how she got started and everything like that, really. So welcome, Bimla, to the Wed Pro Podcast.
Well, hello.
So lovely to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be part of this.
Oh, we're excited to have you here. You are, not only do you have a fabulous wedding business, you are our BA for Gloucestershire as well. So,
yeah,
getting that in there. But today we just want to, get to know you and your business and find out what makes you tick, really.
Lovely. I'm very excited. Obviously, love talking about myself because, big fan. Not really.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Right, let's get started. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, so hi, I'm Bimla, and I run Bimlabee Productions. And I have been running my own consultancy for the last, it's nearly 6 years now. Unbelievable, time flies when you're having fun. But I've been in the weddings and events industry for coming up to 15 years.
Amazing. You don't look old enough.
No, darling, I told you it's the Botox.
Oh. So, tell us a little bit more about kind of your background and how you got into the wedding industry.
Okay, well, I have done probably every single job going in the events industry as a total. So I started off working in promo. Okay. So I was promo Polly, and I would work for a brand, and I would stand on a street corner and I would hand out samples and do market research and all the things that, you do when you're young and you're desperate for cash. Yeah. And I got hooked on events, and I thought, this is great. I reckon I could do something in this career. So I went from that into working, this is a long story, just FYI, stop me anytime. I went from that to working in fundraising events.
Okay, interesting.
So I was working for a not-for-profit organisation and doing lots of brilliant fundraising events, and then some conferences and some award shows. And I took the leap from that after, I think I probably was doing not-for-profit events for about 3 years in total. And then I took the jump over into the private market, and I was desperate to get a job with there's a swanky agency that I managed to get involved with, who were fabulous, still are fabulous. Took me 6 months of bugging them to give me a job.
Perseverance pays off, right?
Oh my God, honestly, bugging pays off.
And there was like, oh, we just have to give her a job just so she goes away.
Yeah. Genuinely, I think that's what happened. So I was working with this great agency doing private jobs, and we were flying all over the world, working in Saint-Tropez, working in Italy, going off to America, did some gorgeous things. And it was a mix of private parties and weddings. And that was my first little bit of wedding experience.
Your kind of like your first little taste of like, oh.
My first little taste, yeah. And it was really interesting because obviously I'd gone from events where there was no money at all into this spangly world of multi-million-pound parties and weddings, and it was quite a step out of my comfort zone. And yeah, it was mind-boggling. My eyes were seriously opened to some extraordinary things and some extraordinary levels of production. And I got to work with some brilliant suppliers, people like Rob Van Helden, florist.
Wow.
Worked with a film designer on production design. Just a really great selection of suppliers. So I've had a lovely opportunity. And anybody would think, well, why did you want to leave that? Because
Why would you do that?
why would you do that? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I thought, well, the private world is fabulous, but it might not be for me. So I want to go and experience corporate events.
Mm.
So I did another jump and I went into working for an agency where I ended up being director of the event team. And we were working with clients doing, again, big conferences, big productions, big shows, big parties, working with some extraordinary talent. And I loved it and it was great. But, you know, there was something that was a little bit missing. And it was working for somebody else. And I think long and short of it, because that was quite long and I am very sorry, I realised that working for yourself is a hell of a good proposition if you can do it. And so I just went, well, I think it's time. And I took the step and I left the company and I started up my own consultancy. Wow. And I've been doing a mix of everything since. So I still do some corporate work. And then obviously the weddings side of things, which is how we've come to know each other.
Yes, it is.
And it's brilliant and I love it. And that's where I am now. And I don't ever want anything to change ever, please. Thank you, God.
Ah, that's so lovely. So something that you just kind of spoke about there was taking that leap from kind of working for someone else to working for yourself, which I've experienced and I think a lot of other people can relate to as well. Yeah. How did you find that transition? Because for me, I mean, I don't know whether I was like naive or whatever, but I just went, I'm going to do it. Like I didn't even really think about it, but I don't know kind of what your thought processes were and how you found it.
Yeah, it was a big change, a massive change. I mean, a situation at the time, I'd kind of got myself to a point with the company that I just thought, I'm not going to get anything more out of this. And I'm now making money for other people, but actually I could be making that money for myself. And I think when you have that realization, and if you're brave enough, it's not for everybody. Don't get me wrong. We're not sitting here going, everybody should be working for yourself, because it's not right for everybody. But I think if you've got that drive within you, then if you can take that leap of faith and really believe in yourself, it's been, like I say, it's really been worthwhile for me. But it was a scary proposition at first. I really had to. I think I read Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway.
Yeah.
I think full of self-help books at that point that just got me to be able to take that step, you know. And there's no guarantee that you're going to get the work and find the income. That's the thing. You've got
there's just so many what ifs. What if? I mean, obviously.
But if you weigh up the what ifs, if there are so many more positive what ifs to the negative what ifs, you know, you can always go back. You don't have to. You can work for other people again. There's no guarantees that it's going to work. There's no guarantees it's not going to work. But if you don't try, you'll never know.
That's it. I am totally a glass half full kind of girl. Like, so we went. So for those of you who don't know, there are two of us that run the wedding industry supplier network. There is Katie, my business partner, my now business partner, and there's me, Roxy. So way back when, Katie was my boss. So we've gone from boss relationship to business partner relationship, but in between that, like, she's my bestie, she's my work wife. Like, we just know each other inside out. Like,
you two are like peas in a pod, basically.
Yeah, we're like sisters. Like, we don't know. When you just find your person, like, it is the best feeling in the world that you've got someone there constantly cheering you on. But for me,
you're lucky.
Yeah, I really, really appreciate like how lucky I am. And I did say to my husband, only the other day actually, how grateful I am that there was someone else there to bounce ideas off, because sometimes, and we do speak about this quite a lot, is that you can feel quite alone. Yeah. You know, kind of working for yourself. Hence the reason why the Twizzing community was born in the first place. But it is so important to have that circle or that person that you can trust, that you can kind of chat to. I have actually lost my train of thought for what were we saying, Bimla? What were we saying?
I don't know. We were just talking about how brilliant it is taking that leap of faith.
Oh yes, yeah. So kind of for me, from going from having knowing where that money's coming from to pay my bills, for then having to find that money. But this is where I was going. I am a true believer in, if you want something enough and try your absolute hardest, like, there's nothing to stop you to succeed.
I completely agree with that. I really do. If you really, really want it, why not go for it?
Yeah. And it was scary for me at first, actually, because I struggled with confidence issues and things in the past. But I feel like I've actually, like, I found myself. That sounds so loud. I feel like
it's totally true. I think anyone that does struggle with confidence, and I was probably the same, even though, on paper, director of a company, doing very well, had a team of people working under me. You think, well, why would you have any problems? And actually, when you've got so many people around you, you're kind of buffeted in a way. You've got that protection.
It's like you're hidden in a cocoon of other people, and then when you do it on your own, you are
suddenly you are you. There's nothing else. You're not hiding behind anybody else.
No buffer off anybody else, or
no. That can be very scary. But it can put you into the better frame of mind and make you realise, actually, I am really good at what I do. And the more you get business and the more traction you start to bring, the more you start believing in yourself.
It is so true. It is so true. And this kind of brings me on to what I want to talk about next is, do you ever get imposter syndrome?
All the time.
And I know everybody listening, I mean, if you don't get it, please tell me, like, what is your secret? Because
sorry, who are you?
Who are you? Get in touch now.
All the time. Funny one, because when I moved to I now live in Gloucestershire in the Cotswolds, and I've not always been here. I used to live in London, doing the agency life, and when I moved to the Cotswolds, I had massive imposter syndrome, because I thought, well, no one's gonna accept me locally. There's a really good, strong community here. And I thought, why the hell are they gonna want to involve someone who's essentially just, who is she? And it took me a lot of courage to kind of just go, hey, look, this is me. I'm really friendly. I'd really like to get to know you. Yeah. We probably have quite different strengths, so we're not in direct competition, but also I really want to meet all the people doing my job here, because again, that community is so important. And I found myself looking back at my look at my website, looking at my CV, and thinking, they're not going to want to accept me, because actually on paper, and if you look at all of my portfolio, hey, I'm a big corporate girl, here at my massive conferences.
Yes.
Here's a big corporate party that I've done. I haven't really done song and dance about the private work, because that was all very behind closed doors.
Yeah.
But then, are these people going to take me seriously and go, oh yeah, you are one of us? Or are they going to go, you don't know what you're talking about?
Yeah.
And
why does this corporate girl think she can come into this industry and
exactly,
and get involved?
Yeah. And so that was quite a challenge for me. I do sometimes still struggle with getting onto, in my world of bigger productions, and I have been lucky, and I'm so blessed in some of the clients that I've had.
Yeah.
But some of the bigger productions that I've worked on, where you are possibly one female in a room of 20, 30 blokes who are riggers, lighting techs, staging builders, whatever, the whole scenic department, and trying to be a strong female in those situations and not kind of going, oh, I'm just a silly little girl. Those situations are quite scary as well. So I've faced quite a few of them, and all you got to do is breathe in, put your big girl pants on. Yeah.
Snap.
Every time. And here we go. And if you exude that confidence, then people just believe.
That's it. And I think 9 times out of 10, I mean, so me and Kate have this saying of, in our industry and in every industry and parts of life, there are peacockers who come in and they fluff their big feathers up and say, look at me. And that's where I think people, like, especially like new businesses or people that aren't so confident, feel like maybe they might come across as. But actually, 9 times out of 10, the people that you're approaching probably feel the same as you, or have experienced it in the past. So once you get past that thought of, I'm not good enough, I shouldn't be here, or whatever it might be, you just got to take that first little step. And, you know,
Yeah.
you never know what's going to happen as well when you approach people and strike conversations. You never know where that is going to go.
You absolutely never know. And one thing I would say, that whole peacocking thing, yes, and we all have to peacock because, you know, in the world of Instagram and social medias,
Yes.
you're seeing on your visuals and your storytelling and your personality. But I would just say, if you're bringing your personality across, no matter how much you're peacocking, if you're being authentic and you can just be your true self,
That's it.
then people, they warm. It's not peacocking, you know, they warm to you much more quickly.
They don't they?
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, and again, this is another really, really relatable kind of topic at the moment, you know, for parents that may be working at home, is about work-life balance. So we know that you had a baby recently, so congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you very much. 10 weeks strong.
Whoop whoop. How are you finding it?
I mean, it's amazing. It's a game changer. He's fabulous. I've realised that you can spend hours staring at your baby. How does that happen? Hours. I've also realised that it takes about 3 hours to write one email nowadays. So
Relatable.
yeah, my skill set of typing one-handed has certainly increased. It's come on bounds. Look, I mean, it's early days for me at the moment. I am blessed that I have got a partner who lives with me, is working from home.
Yeah.
So he's really good at taking the pressure off. For example, right now he's bouncing a bonny boy on his knee while he's doing a conference call down in our office.
Oh yes.
And yeah, so that's wonderful. But I am seeing how I'm going to have to change my approach to work. And I really was one of those people that would get up at 7 o'clock, think about work immediately, do some emails, spend my day, work, come out, do a bit of dinner, go back, do a few more emails, be on a dog walk, doing emails, weekends away, doing emails, even
literally like technology attached to your hand.
Attached.
Like
moon, I was doing a deal with an artist. So I am one of those people that you would really go, wow, she's really obsessed with her job, but I can't do that now. And I can see that only 10 weeks in, I can see how that's going to change my life quite drastically. So I'm looking forward to the challenge that that's going to bring. And I think
word to the wise there is, yeah, you're completely right. Like, you may as well knock it on the head now instead of fighting it, because do you get mum guilt yet?
Massive.
It's
I've started dreaming it as well. Dreaming it. So I can see how that's only going to get worse. And it's prioritising, isn't it? And actually my husband and my dog would go, well, you didn't prioritise us before. Well, hello. Now there's a little baby boy who basically needs me to stay alive. Of course I'm going to prioritise him.
But it is so true. And it is important to remember, and I'm guilty of this in the past. I'm a little bit better now. I go through kind of waves of like being really good at putting my phone on do not disturb and realising and telling myself that email can wait till tomorrow. Like, doesn't matter if it doesn't get sent now, but sometimes it's stuck to my hand, or like I'm endlessly scrolling on social media and I'm like, what? Because Twizzing is like an online business. It's basically glued to some sort of technology. There's always 500,000 notifications going off. Instagram, Facebook group. I mean, we have the main Twizzing group and then lots of little baby Twizzing groups that we all kind of, that we need to oversee. But I've learned, and I am pleased and so proud to say that from 7 p.m. at night till 7 p.m. in the morning, my do not disturb goes on my phone.
Good.
I don't get it's so good for the brain space.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm a lot more productive.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's being productive with your time. So
it's working smarter, not harder.
Smarter, not harder. There it is. It's a good skill if you can get it. It's a really great skill to have. And I'm looking forward to being better at it. Let's put it that way. Still a work in progress.
It will happen. And as your little boy kind of grows up, and because it's still going to take up lots of your time, but in different ways as he grows up and starts twiddling around, touching everything, into everything.
Not allowed to touch anything. I've got very highly polished doors,
Oh, good luck. Do you know, I've got 3 children, so child 1, I was very much like the overdoting mother.
Yeah.
Literally made him I don't know if this is just a Derbyshire word, the mardiest baby toddler child ever. He was so clingy. He had separation anxiety. This was when I wasn't so confident, so I used to stay in a lot, and it was just me and him. Then when he went to preschool, bless those preschool ladies, because he was a child. So then baby number 2 came along, only 15 months between those boys as well. Like, wow. Anyway, I learned a little bit of a lesson with the first child. So the second child was a little bit more, he was way chill actually, because not that he learned to sort himself out because he was a baby and he couldn't, but it was almost like he kind of knew that he'd have to wait a minute. So he was quite chill. And then I left it until 6 years after having that baby. So then I had my little girl, and literally she might as well have fended for herself. Like, I gave her the basic needs. I was a working mom, like 2 other children. I think I might have even had a puppy or 2 at that time as well. So little Gracie, like, is a tough cookie.
Yeah, right. Good for him.
It's just a natural progression.
I guess that's the thing. I think we're probably stopping at 1, but he's so far he's been to see 1 wedding client with me. He came to a yurt showcase with me over the weekend. So, you know, my baby boy, he was in a film yesterday with me, a little interview. So, you know, we're getting him some weddings. Cute. Yeah, wedding planning nice and early.
That is well cute.
Not helpful.
Oh my God. I get broody real quick, and I don't know, I must be crazy, like 4.
Yeah, you need to stop right there, girl.
I've got a new kitten.
Oh, cute. Go away now, we're in the middle of something.
See the kitten.
Oh, hi, bye. Nice to meet you, bye. So, Bim, I have a little bit of a question for you. Obviously, you love all of your business, but do you have like a favourite part or something that you enjoy the most?
Yes. Well, quite a few actually. I love that first meeting with a new couple and understanding their style and their dreams, and from that going off and sort of mood boarding up ideas.
Oh, yes, I can imagine.
I love a good mood board, honestly. Glass of wine, Pinterest.
I was going to say, I love Pinterest for like...
Yeah.
My creative juices right flowing.
So good. So that is I love that part. But I also love tastings. So give me a catering tasting any day and I can sit there and, I had 2 tastings with 2 different clients in one day once. So
you get to taste it too?
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, I'd say that's quite important, actually, right?
Hey,
I need to taste too.
I love food, as my double chin will probably attest. So yeah, I think those 2 parts of the job are pretty cool. I know I'm supposed to say seeing a couple get married at the end of the day, because obviously that is a lovely moment,
of course,
joyful and beautiful, and seeing the end product, but genuinely my favorite parts are that kind of creative development process. I love it.
How did you go on without Pinterest?
I don't know what happened before. How do people do life?
Please somebody email us in info wedding industry supplier network.co.uk. Long email, I know. What people did without Pinterest, because I can't remember life.
No
Pinterest.
No, yet I do remember being one of the first ever people at university to get an email address. Yeah, I am that old. And computers were a little bit, I think we had IT at GCSE and we were allowed to learn how to do spreadsheets, and that was about it. And there was about 3 computers to share between a year of 40 kids. So genuinely, what did we do? Did we just get scissors and cut up magazines and stick them together? Is that how it was?
It must have been. I don't know. My long-term memory, I'm only 32, 31, so for all of technology's always been a good thing for me.
Yeah.
What did happen? Somebody let us know. Like,
Yeah, please, yeah.
Okay, so final question. If you could tell someone who was just starting out in the wedding industry or wedding and events industry one piece of advice, what would it be?
Okay, so I actually get asked this quite a lot by people that are trying to get into the industry. I don't know how I land answering these questions. Don't know. Must be something on my LinkedIn profile, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe people are like, oh, she's been around.
Well, it's that old and haggard face, isn't it? She knows. I would say so. The biggest thing is just getting experience. You've just got to get out there, ask to get on site to as many weddings and events that you can.
Yeah.
Help out, offer to help, just get in there. Nothing beats experience. And I know there are 1,000,001 wedding planning courses, event planning courses out there. And that way, I'm taking nothing away from those at all, because obviously all very good skills to have on paper. But part of our job isn't just putting a wedding created together, isn't just, putting this whole beautiful day together. Part of it is we're troubleshooters, we are calm people in a state of panic, we deal with emergencies, we know how to do risk assessments, we know what to look for health and safety. It's a massive thing what we do, and you can't learn that on a bit of paper.
No.
So get out there, get experience, just get your hands in, get mucky, get dirty, get stuck in.
Get stuck in, duck. That's so dumb.
Put those hours in. I mean, I did many internships before I was able to get into where I am now. And I do remember one horrific night where I was working for quite an experienced producer, and we were doing a beautiful big dinner for 1,000 people, and the tablecloths were all laid out, and the tablecloth had creases in. Oh, no. And this wasn't going to do. Nope. And we had to have it all ready by the next morning. So myself and one other poor creature spent the entire night
one of the poor creature
ironing 100 tablecloths overnight, no sleep. And that was a 48-hour shift in the end. So, horror stories. We've all been there. We've all done it. It's your turn next. Don't want to scare you.
Fabulous piece of advice. Where can people find out more about your business? What are your social media handles?
Right, good, thank you. So my website is bimlabeeproductions.co.uk. My Instagram is @Bimlabee Productions, and my Facebook is Bimlabee Productions. And I might even have a Twitter account out there somewhere, I think.
So what we'll do is
send me out, follow me, come and talk to me, DM me. Just
definitely. I love talking to you. Honestly, like when we that first ever met on that Zoom call that we did, I was like, I love this woman. I could talk to this woman like forever. Like, she's just on my wavelength. What we'll do about the social media handles is we will pop them into the show notes. Well, Bimla, I don't know, Bimla, Bim.
Yeah.
So lovely to talk to you, as always. Like, like I just said, like.
Ace to talk to you too. Thank you for the opportunity. Lovely to chat. Really nice to be able to get my thoughts out there. And I'd just add, actually, if anybody does want to hit me up for any work experience or anything like that, if there is anyone desperate to come on site and do anything, just let me know. Happily have you on board.
Can I apply?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, guys, it's been fabulous letting you hear all about Bimla and her fabulous business today. Don't forget, you can follow us on our Facebook and our Instagram @TwizzingGlobal, and we will speak to you all very soon. Take care, guys.